Thank you so much to my members for making this video possible. You guys are the best. Mwah. Dark Souls is a franchise known for its brutal difficulty, its cryptic storytelling, and its bleak, decaying worlds. But beneath the surface lies something more, an exploration of disability, suffering, and resilience. Dark Souls represents disability, both literally and metaphorically, and that might mean an awful lot for players and the characters that they meet. From the very beginning, Dark Souls presents a world where almost every character is, in some way, disabled. Physically, mentally, or spiritually. The undead themselves are trapped in a cycle of decay. Anastasia, the mute firekeeper, or Laurentius, slowly suffering from madness, are not just side characters, they're emblematic of the world's slow erosion of humanity. Disability in Dark Souls isn't just a physical state. It's a metaphor for isolation, loss, and the struggle to maintain purpose in a crumbling world. Every character you meet is on the brink of giving up. They're hollowing, a term that, in many ways, mirrors the real-world experience of disability. The feeling of being diminished, misunderstood, or overlooked entirely. Dark Souls doesn't just show disability, it makes you feel it. The difficulty of the game itself, constant failure, slow progress, and the need for patience and learning can mirror aspects of the disabled experience. Inaccessibility, frustration, and the need for adaptation are built into the core gameplay. That sense of helplessness and the requirement to adapt and persist, these are common aspects of living with disability. But just like with any disability, there's resilience. Triumph comes from learning, adapting, and persisting. It's harsh, but a powerful metaphor that even in a broken world you can push forward because you are not broken at all. You are strong in spite of everyone thinking that you are broken. Even the online community mirrors real-world solidarity amongst disabled people. The jolly cooperation that Dark Souls promotes isn't just a gameplay feature. I believe it's a subtle reminder that no one should have to suffer alone simply because they are different. Within physical disability, there are many characters in Dark Souls who bear grotesque or altered bodies, mutated, scarred, or deformed due to an outer power. These physical changes often come with social ostracization or spiritual consequences. For example, Ceaseless, the Fair Lady, and the two Daughters of Chaos within Bed of Chaos's arena are linked to bodily corruption through pyromancy. Most obviously, the undead curse functions metaphorically like a degenerative illness, leading to hollowing, memory loss, and an eventual state of emptiness. It's a condition that society fears and sequesters. This evokes real-world dynamics where people with visible disabilities or chronic illnesses are marginalized or othered despite being just as human and just as similar as the very person who chooses to look at them differently. Speaking of the process of hollowing, a key unavoidable mechanic and narrative element, it mirrors cognitive decline or mental illness. NPCs like Siegmeyer, Lucatil of Mirror, and Big Hat Logan gradually lose themselves as they hollow. Many characters struggle to retain their identity, memory, and purpose the more they slowly pursue a goal that reveals itself to be far out of humanity's reach. The player character is always on the edge of this state, using external sources like bonfires and the physical item of humanity to maintain coherence. However, undead and hollow individuals are not just sick, they are rejected, institutionalized, as we know, by the undead asylum, and exiled by a society that fears them. There are also cases where disability or difference grants unique insight, resilience, or power, subverting a purely tragic view from it. Artorias, famously disabled by the Abyss, still possesses the strength to wield a greatsword and is incredibly agile despite being paralyzed. The Firekeepers, many of whom are either blind, disabled by choice, or disfigured, are deeply connected to the cycles of death and rebirth, and the player character literally, mechanically cannot progress without the Firekeepers in their playthroughs. In my opinion, this reflects a complex, ambivalent relationship to disability. It's not purely negative or purely redemptive. There are many more connections, of course, but those two that I mentioned, Artorias and the Firekeepers, are the most well understood. From a mechanical gameplay standpoint, Dark Souls enforces disability sometimes. The player is frequently disempowered, poisoned, slowed, bled out, frozen, all kinds of things, mirroring physical and mental limitations. The player can even choose to disable themselves, which actually grants rewards in return, like Iron Flesh, a state in which your mobility is prevented, but you are instead rewarded with great poise, or Immolation, which is exactly as the name suggests. Persistence, adaptation, and patience are rewarded in Dark Souls, qualities often required in real-life experiences of disability, something that those within the disabled community are constantly having to do. By highlighting suffering and survival and putting the player through an experience where suffering is the key component, Dark Souls invites us to think about how we treat those who do struggle. Do we abandon them, like so many NPCs who go hollow? Or do we, as players, reach out and summon them, acknowledge them, and help them continue, and even spread that faith to the online community, involving ourselves in jolly cooperation and coming together in a world that does disable you? Dark Souls engages heavily with disability as a metaphor, at least, and it often can reflect on social stigma and embodied difference. It offers a gothic, mythic lens through which to explore what it means to be cast out or broken or altered, and how meaning and strength can emerge from those conditions. While you may think that Dark Souls prevents disability as something to be looked down upon, when you look beyond the lines, I think you'll find that it wants you to overpower disability, and Miyazaki doesn't want you to be that at its core. Miyazaki wants you to embrace that fact of yourself and use that to empower yourself either throughout your life or in your playthrough. So the next time you pick up a copy of Dark Souls 1, 2, or 3 and step into Lordran, Drangleic, or Lothric, remember, Dark Souls isn't just about bosses raging and annoying areas. It's about the human condition, about struggle, pain, resilience, and the quiet hope that, with a little help, we can all carry on. Until next time, praise the sun.
Ah, hello. You don't look hollow, far from it.
Don't you dare let yourself go hollow, lest my time spent on you be wasted.